All right, ladies and gentlemen, we get the clash of two of the best chess players in football participating in the 18 million views Olympiad event, and they hit it off. There's a handshake, and if you saw my last post, Braco won Freeman with the black pieces. Let's see if Freeman gets his revenge on this one. D4, D6, knight F3, knight F6, C4, G6, knight C3, bishop G7. Black brings the bishop to the long diagonal, eyeing D4 and pressuring in advance. This is kind of a perk, modest opening. And then black has this King's Indian setup. Calm, yet very dangerous. We have bishop G4, pinning the knight, and we have bishop E2, countering the pin. Black thinks for a bit. I think castles make sense in this position. Doesn't hurt. It's a calm way to get your king to safety. And he castles. What will white play here? And white castles. We have rook e8 on the board. Rook e8. Now both kings are safe. The e file is going to see some actions. And then we have queen e3, although not the best move. The engine says bishop g5 would have made a lot of sense. But queen b3 is an okay move, but the engine suggests bishop g5 to be a better move. Queen b3 eyes the b7 pawn. White is clearly better here because of the perk opening and taking the full center right of the jump. While a draw is clearly okay for white here, Freeman boldly plays knight c6, completely ignoring the b7 pawn. Queen captures b7 pawn. Queen takes on b7, and then there is a trick here. If bishop takes on f3, if black plays bishop takes on f3, the d4 pawn hangs. That's if he recaptures on f3, the d4 pawn hangs, because if he takes it, it comes with a tempo on the bishop. And then he does. This is the best move in the position. Look at it. If he retakes and Bright finds the best move, queen c7, queen c6, sorry, that's the best move in the position, and Freeman recaptures. There's a lot of emotions running high here, and he plays e5, strong move. This is a mistake by the white pieces. You see, he wants to take back there, but Freeman is not someone you take back. Although it's a friendly game, but he doesn't allow take backs, and he chops off. This centralizes the knight. Black is playing very well with fire and well calculated. We have and then we have bishop ce3 developing his last piece, joining his rooks, which is also the best move in the position. We have f5 by black, f3 kicking the knight away. And where does the knight go? Does it go to f6 or g5. And the knight hops to g5, which is considered an inaccuracy because the best move here is f6. Now we have queen b6. I don't understand the reason for this move yet. The engine says it is a mistake, in fact. And then we have b8, rook b8 on the board. And then white grabs another pawn, but look at the queen takes on a7, but look at the rook storms down on the b file and takes on b2. We have knight c3, which is considered a mistake here because rook e1 would have been the best move because there is e4 coming. That's a discovery on the c3 knight. Comes with a discovery and a tempo. Very disgusting stuff. e4 will be a knockout blow to white. This is the turning point right here. e4, would he find it? Would black find e4? This is the best move in the position. e4. This is the pawn to crack open the center completely. This is war. So what the knight is hanging. Here the knight is completely hanging. So he plays knight takes on e4, knight takes on e4. And then the natural move here is rook takes on e4, but somehow the engine does not like it. And then rook b1 on the board. Rook b1. Rook b2 looks logical to keep clamp on that second rank. And then he finds it. Although the engine says it's a miss, he would have taken on b1. But this looks nice. White, after thinking for a moment, the best move for white here is to take on b2, I think. Take on b2 and relieve the pressure on the second rank. But white, after thinking for a moment, what does he play here? Rook b2, rook takes on b2 is A very logical move. And then he plays a4. This is height of its blunder, completely giving away his bishop. And now the brilliance comes from black. Freeman is finally getting his revenge. He takes the free bishop on f2. Braco takes on b2 finally. Freeman takes back on b2. The b5 is under complete black control. The pawn grabbed earlier is starting to look really risky. And it's just a matter of time before white resigns his position, because there's not a lot to do here. I mean, he's a full bishop up, and then there is a fork that might happen on d4. Bishop d4 would be disastrous, because if there's any support on d4 and then he plays this f4, covering the d4 square, because there could be a fork that picks up the queen from there, which is considered the best move. Rook d2. If rook d2, bishop d4 might lose the queen. I mean, that's the primary move. That's the primary reason for f4, rook f4. And then we have bishop e5 hitting the rook on f4. To get it away. And now it's just a matter of time before white resigns his position, because he's completely losing grip. Freeman is not backing down anytime. He only has to bring up his king to avoid checks from the queen. And maybe go for the throat with queen h4. Oh, he tries to fork the queen there, but Bright finds the okay move. Excellent move with queen a5. Even when it's not the best move in the position. I mean, nobody wants to risk a potential fork that picks up the queen. So queen a5 is very, logical and natural way. Rook b2. Rook back to b2. Rook back to b2. And the tides are not favoring white. He gets back to a7, which is not absolutely best move for him. He is keeping an eye on the c7 pawn, tried to get some activity with the check on the king, but Freeman has it on lock. It's not backing down anytime. Yeah, Freeman smiling there. He knows he's completely winning. He just has to keep it solid. Look at him. He knows, and Braco, out of pressure, makes another, like say, blunder because there's a knockout blow coming. It's an inaccuracy, but looks like a blunder because Queen A6 calls for Queen H4, which is absolute best move and then jaw breaking move because the mate is unstoppable from here. His mate H2, if you play H3, there's what's a sensational because this wasn't just about strategy, it was about courage. Just how Martin Stay tuned and subscribe for more contents like this. The game might not be over, but Freeman is clearly on the driver's seat.